I was asked by World Vision UK if I would consider writing a song for the terrible disaster in the Philippines, and it was a great privilege, but also really quite daunting because the need is now. It's obviously a very current situation, and I think that kind of pressure, from an artistic point of view, is sometimes very good, but also the fact that this is a very real situation. It's not a fantasy, it's not romantic, it's not anything that, it's not fiction, it's fact. And the fact is, people have died, people are dying, people are lost. And in this situation, in this instance, because it's such a big issue, I prayed. I'm a praying person, and I thought the only way that I can really get into this is, and to try to have some kind of insight into this, is to pray, to see if I can get more of a spiritual insight, and to ask, God for His insight into this situation. So that process for me was a very powerful one, and I don't pray it in the same way every time I write a piece of music. There's a spiritual aspect to all of my music, but this situation, I wanted it to be real to me. And sometimes, you get desensitized to these visuals of disasters, unfortunately, because we're living in a time where there are many earthquakes, there are many hurricanes, there's a lot of famine, there's a lot of war, there's a lot of terrible things going on, and we see a lot of it all the time. And so I really wanted to put my heart in the position that I could receive and feel for this, so that it would become real. The thing that hit me was hope. And it was interesting because then I spoke to World Vision UK the next day, and they said, we really want this to be, let's talk about hope. And I said, well, that's fantastic, because that's what I'm feeling. And you may say, well, that's quite obvious, we want to talk about hope. But that is the thing, we do need hope, and these people need hope. They desperately need to think that all is not lost. I watched an interview of a group of young girls on BBC in the Philippines saying, we thought this was our last day. We thought that's it, we thought the world was ending. And the world hasn't ended, but the world has ended in many ways, and so they need hope. And so that's really what I'm trying to say in this song, The Light of Hope. To the ones who have been broken, out on the edge of the world, who can count the cost of the lives we've lost? Who can repay? I need to remember this, because it's a long time since I played it. I think one of the things that we need to remember, and it's something that World Vision obviously is very focused on, is the plight of children that are displaced and lost and found in a situation like this. And it's always terrifying. I remember in Thailand years ago when the tsunami happened, and that realization suddenly of, goodness me, there are thousands, hundreds and thousands of children that are completely at risk, and this is a very real situation that's happening in the Philippines right now. We can imagine children who've lost their mothers and fathers, their brothers and sisters separated, babies, toddlers, you can imagine, crying, worried, scared. They're at risk from exploitation, trafficking, dying, injuries not being found in time. World Vision, fortunately, I know, have set up, I think, about at least 40 safe places where children can be kept under their watchful care and fed and looked after. And so, this is a huge thing that I think I want to encourage people to support the work of World Vision for the sake of the children at least. Every human life is precious, every one, but these poor, the babies and the children that have been left is devastating. So my heart is, again, that the children will be looked after, and that what people give will go a significant way towards these new safe areas, safe centres, and people trustworthy people being there to help them. We need your help. Click the link below to see how you can help bring relief to millions of survivors.